I'm here today with a first impression of a foundation that quite a few of you guys had actually requested that I do a first impression on, and it's this new foundation from Shiseido. It is the Synchro Skin Lasting Liquid Foundation, oil-free, broad spectrum, SPF 20 sunscreen, and I have it here today. The shade that I got mine in is Natural 3, and I think it's a perfect match. I am a little bit self-tan and a little bit tan because I just got back from Hawaii, so this is a fantastic match. I mean, I didn't even have to blend it down my neck or anything. Love the match of it. So I'm gonna read to you a little information about it, and then we'll get into the demo of how it applies and how it wears throughout the day. In 11 shades, I got mine in Neutral 3, and like I said, perfect match. It does retail for $45. It's 1 fluid ounce. It says it's an innovative, oil-free and long-lasting foundation with medium buildable coverage that beautifully enhances your complexion by harmonizing with your skin for a natural-looking finish. It says that it's flawlessly undetectable, like it belongs to your skin. It's supposed to feel uniquely airy and silky on the skin, help maintain the skin's clarity, minimize shine, creasing and fading all day. It has advanced sensing technology, dynamically synchronizes with your skin's unique condition for a beautiful looking complexion. It's formulated with SPF 20 to help prevent skin roughness and damage caused by oxidation. And on Sephora, there's 42 reviews and it has 4.5 stars. So it does come in a bottle like this. It's not quite round. If you can see here, it like points out on the side. So it's like not a perfectly round bottom. If you can see the difference here, this is just the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. But so it's not perfectly little round foundation bottle. Same with the lid. The lid is a little bit, is the same shape. It does have a pump, which I love. It is a more creamy texture, so it's not super liquidy and runny, but it's not really thick either. So it's kind of a nice in-between consistency. I'm going to show you in the demo applying it with the Beauty Blender as well as applying it with the brush. So if you want to see how it applies and how it wears throughout the day, then just stay tuned. Okay, so we're gonna start off by priming our skin. I'm gonna use the Makeup Forever Smoothing Primer. It just helps even out any uneven texture on my skin and helps fill in pores just a little bit. I use it every day. Sometimes I use it by itself. Sometimes I use it in like conjunction with other primers, but we're just gonna go in with this one today. And I like to put it in the T-zone area, and then I kind of take it underneath the eyes. So if you have any fine lines, it kind of smooths and fills in any little fine lines that you have. And then we're gonna go in with the star of the show today, the Shiseido Synchro Skin Long Lasting Liquid Foundation. A lot of you guys had actually commented that you wanted to see a first impression, and it had been in my cart, so I figured I'd buy it during the VIB Rouge 15% off sale. I got mine in the shade Natural 3. I do have a little bit of a self-tan on, so hopefully this will match well. And it says to shake well before use. So we're gonna shake it up. And I'm going to use a Beauty Blender to apply this. This is 1 pump, and we're just going to, we'll start on one side of our face and see how it covers. So the color, this is a little bit on the more yellow side, but the color actually looks pretty good. And like I said, this was 1 pump. And we can try it with the brush on the other side, because 1 pump with the Beauty Blender basically just covered this half of my face and not really my forehead or anything. So I'm gonna get just a little bit more, and we'll dab it along there. It seems to be blending in really nicely, like very effortlessly, and it looks very light on the skin. It says it's a Synchro Skin Foundation, and I'm pretty sure that this is supposed to like be lightweight. It's supposed to look very light on the skin and kind of like be a second skin. So far, I like it. I like it with the Beauty Blender. It just looks very, I'll zoom in. You can see there, it just like blends very nicely. I don't think that it's accentuating pores. It's not accentuating any dry area, and it doesn't look very makeup-y at all. It looks very, very natural. So that's the side without, that's the side with. I'd say it's a pretty medium coverage. I feel like there's a little bit of redness still peeking through, but I like that. I don't really need a super full coverage foundation. So we're gonna do the same on this side. This is one pump and spread it around here. And I do have like a little blemish right there. I have a little bit of redness. I have this like little spot on my nose. I don't know what it's from. It's a freckle or something. So we'll see if it covers that. And this is a Morphe MB4 brush. And we're gonna see if that blends it out a little bit better. I don't know if I like this brush for foundation. I have a few Morphe brushes, but I don't have many. And I like them, they're okay. But I might switch to a different brush. I feel like this is a little bit too, not densely packed enough. So I'm just gonna go in with this. I'm gonna go in with this e.l.f. buffing brush. I really like this brush a lot for foundation. So it applies, you get a little bit better coverage when you use the brush, you use less product. And I feel like it still looks nice. I feel like on my nose, it looks a little bit drier when I use the brush, because I feel like it just kind of like lifts up any dry patches. I'm gonna do one more pump here and kind of see if I can build up on any of these areas that might need a little bit more coverage. And this is supposed to be a long-lasting foundation as well, so we'll see how long we can get this to stay on the skin. It's supposed to be a pretty warm day today, so. And it seems to build up well. Like, I don't feel like it looks cakey on my cheeks, but I feel like it covered up on my cheeks a lot better, which is nice. So it is buildable. I feel like you can build it to a pretty full coverage. And like most foundations, like my preferred method is a beauty blender. I just feel like it always applies best for me 9 out of 10 times. When I look up close, I feel like it doesn't accentuate dry areas. My nose is always a little bit dry. And so you can definitely tell it's dry, but I don't feel like it's accentuating it or drawing a lot of attention to it. I don't feel like it's accentuating any pores. And I feel like it looks very natural on the skin. It doesn't feel very heavy. It doesn't look heavy. It is currently 9:22 and I will check back in as soon as I finish my makeup. Okay, so I have applied the rest of my makeup and everything applied really nicely over it. I have been finding that I don't really, in the summertime at least, don't want to put a ton of concealer under my eyes. I feel like my under eyes have been really dry, so piling concealer and powder under there just seems to be drying it out a lot more. So I didn't use a ton of concealer under there and it still looks very fresh. I don't feel like it's dry on my skin. I don't feel like I'm oily. There's a beautiful like kind of natural glow, but for the most part, it's a pretty natural skin finish, borderline semi-matte. And it is now 11 o'clock, so I've had it on for a little bit over an hour. So I'm going to go on with the rest of my day and we'll check in a little bit and see how it's wearing. I'm here with a check-in. It is 2:35. And I've had this on for quite a few hours now, and I did like massive lip swatches, so don't pay attention to this area specifically because it got a little bit messed up doing so many lip swatches. But overall, I feel like it's holding up really nicely. Like, I feel like the longer you wear it, it looks, I feel like it looks prettier the longer you wear it. If you can see, my forehead is getting a little bit shiny. I wouldn't say it's oily, but it definitely is a little bit more glowy. Before it was a very like kind of satin matte finish. It is kind of hot with all these bright lights. I've been editing, I ran some errands. It's probably about 85 degrees out, so that would make sense to why there might be a little bit of oil, kind of like shine peeking through. And I do have a little bit like right around here, but it hasn't worn off. I think it still looks really pretty. I'm just gonna take my beauty blender. It's still a little damp and it doesn't have any excess product, but I'm just kind of bouncing it into the skin on the areas that maybe got a little bit shiny. And to me, that just helps absorb any excess oil that might be getting on your skin. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't disturb my foundation. It's not adding more product. You're not adding a ton of powder or, you know, caking up your face. You're just blending the foundation kind of back into your skin or like absorbing the oils. So I always like to have a spare damp beauty blender in my makeup bag in my purse if I know I'm going to be gone for a while, just because I feel like it's really easy to touch up that way. It's a nice little trick that if you don't want to be applying more product to your face, just take this, blot where you're a little bit oily, and I think it makes a world of difference without caking up your face. And now that I've done that, I feel like my makeup looks fresh again. I will check back in very soon. Hi everyone, I'm here with a check-in. It is now 7:10. I have almost had this on for 10 hours. It's nice and toasty here in Reading. It's probably in the mid 80s, and I've had quite a busy day of running errands and cleaning and being outside. And here we are 10 hours later. Don't mind the rest of my makeup. Although my blush and my highlight are still pretty, bright. So I am quite oily now right in the center of my forehead, along the side of my nose. Those were the areas earlier where we blotted with just a damp beauty blender. They've got a little oily at this point rather than a little bit dewy. But other than that, for a 10-hour wear foundation, as you can see, I'm quite oily. Up here, it's worn off just a tiny bit in random little places, and it's at the point where it's a little bit oily and you can move the foundation around. I'm pretty oily right around my nose, but it hasn't really worn off on the chin area. I was taking a nap and I don't find that it wore off on the sides. So it's mainly just my T-zone area that is a little bit shiny and oily at this point. But I think for 10 hours of wear, that's pretty good. I noticed that it was getting a little bit shiny again, probably about an hour ago. But for the most part, the foundation is still looking really great. It's just a little bit oily. And again, just taking the beauty blender, I haven't re-dampened it since I used it 10 hours ago. And I just blot it and it just takes care of any shine that I had. I really love this. I think if you have oily skin, you're gonna like it. If you have normal skin, dry skin, I think a lot of different skin types are gonna really enjoy this foundation. If you have dry skin, I think it's just going to look better throughout the day. If you have oily skin, and maybe use a mattifying primer and just have something to blot with. But I think the longevity of the foundation actually looking good and staying on your skin is totally there. So I love this. I give it 2 thumbs up. If you have tried this foundation, let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.